Hey guys, just came back to BDO probably 2, 3 weeks ago. I'm in like a chill PvE guild right now, but if you don't know me, um, I've probably been in like 2 or 3 tier 1 node war guilds. Um, they're pretty damn fun. I really highly recommend people to join into those if you can. But if not, whatever. Find like a friend to PvP with 1v1 for hours on end. I feel like that's like the funnest things that I've done in MMOs. Like even in World of Warcraft, like I used to duel my mage friend like all the time before like in between battlegrounds. And that was fun. You remember that. So let's jump right into this PvP Awakening Striker video. Um, for some reason in my Mystic video, like every single comment I got was like, "What are your add-ons? What add-ons do you use?" And I want to say it doesn't really fucking matter, but here are the add-ons. Um, and this is just based off of my playstyle. But a few of the skills, like you'll see I have monster damage on there because I'm too fucking lazy to switch. And you see I have back attack damage here instead of down attack, and on Autumn Blaze. And if you don't know, um, Autumn Blaze is actually one of the core skills you use in your combo after your grab. And all you do is hold L and B, and it gives you this awesome buff of 10% down attack damage. So it just makes sense to add critical hit damage onto it and another down attack damage add-on onto it. And yeah, it just makes sense to do that. The next add-on that I feel is mandatory on every class is critical hit and attack speed. And I put it on my Spyro Cannon just because um, it's a super armor ability, and a lot of times when you're fighting people, they'll be in super armor. So like, let's say my spiral doesn't hit them and knock them down, it'll still give me attack speed to, you know, do the follow up, you know, and like move a little quicker. Um, Next add-on, looks kind of weird, but I have movement speed and bleeding on Skull Crusher. I feel like Skull Crusher is the like end all be all of the combos. Like if you grab somebody and you do your whole fucking combo or whatever, like this skill should be your finishing skill. Like so if they survive like a sliver of health and then they like phase away into existence, this bleed will still apply that little bit of pressure on them. And then, while you're super armor trading and fighting, um, it'll just apply that bleed, and you can catch up to them again. Obviously, Striker probably doesn't need it, but they're probably one of the coolest classes in a sense that they're extremely mobile, and if you compare it to like Mystic, like people say Mystic is supposed to be like the faster class compared to Striker, but the Striker Awakening kit has so much movement into it that's just not fair. One of the reasons why I'm playing Striker in the first place. And this is probably a good time to go through my movement skills. And at the same time, I should probably finish up the add-ons here, but it's mainly because this DP and healing here on Battle Cry is just because I grind with that sometimes in orcs that take too much damage. And Battle Cry is healing me is nice. Savage Somersault with human damage here. You could argue like attack speed and crit on here too, because this would be this, or like you could put the critical hit damage on Savage Somersault. So every time you do your Skull Crusher, you'll have that add-on on for human damage and bleeding or whatever the fuck you want. But again, uh, this rampaging predator here to remove DP is kind of like a secret tech back in when like my first striker friend taught me how to PvP. He said that like rampaging predator is he had DP reduction on it because it's the start of his skill. So he'll grab Autumn Blaze and up-C for rampaging damage. And this is just like the initial start of your combo, you know? You'll do this every time. And it's pretty protected and it's pretty quick. Like that. And that's like one of the quickest ways to demonstrate it. I feel like following it up with Spiral Cannon and then using Savage Somersault and Skull Crusher is just a common combo nowadays. But as far as that goes, like I really like to have people like come up with their own 1v1 combos, but for Striker it's like you can really do this is just what I do. So you do that, down smash, down spiral, Savage Skull Crusher. And then you can Warcry. Some people they'll do something different, and this is more prevalent in PvX. So let's say you do get a grab right. A lot of times they'll shift Q and spiral, and then shift Q, Reiju, and back. And maybe that's just because that's like the normal amount of like time it takes for someone to realize their teammate got CC'd and that they should jump in to help. And it could even apply to like if you're like in the middle of CCing people, or hell, you're just jumping in for some damage and you're not even going for the grab anyways, right? So they'll jump in, knee drop, spiral around, and back. And in group fights, you could cram in more damage, honestly. Like, let's say you jump in and you do the Savage Somersault, shift Q, and then you spiral through. Like, it's a little bit more safer, and you get more damage, and you're protected the whole time. So, you know, that's just something to think about. Your shift Q is actually, like, one of the best, like, I don't want to say the best teleports in the game, but it helps, like, make you untargetable in the sense that you can survive more by using it. It's kind of like Mystic's Wolf's Frenzy. Oops, wow, I forgot that skill. But yeah. So, there's that. And I think that's all I want to say about add-ons. Everything else, preference. Do whatever the fuck you want. Do it with what works for you, you know what I mean? As far as core skills go, there's nothing replacing Spiral Cannon. Like, it's just so good as like a super armor, and having a super armor on a skill that goes through frontal guard is probably one of the most important things in the game, because a lot of people, they'll just be holding back like this, or a part of their rotations they'll use frontal guard. This would apply to like Mystics too, because Mystics, they're always spamming Thunder Pound. So if you just Spiral Torpedo right through them there, then they get CC'd, you win, you know? And yeah. But if you didn't miss it, as far as the combo goes, all I do is I grab ILB, I up-C, spiral, and then I savage like that. And if you wanted a longer one, you can shift Q. You try to throw your shift Q in there somewhere. So good luck with that. Good luck figuring it out. I don't like to do it, but some people do. They'll shift Q, and then they'll spiral instead of Wolf's Predator, Wolf's Fang, or whatever. And it's probably something like that. And then that's their combo. Sometimes I'll go through the combos so fucking fast, I'll just throw Shift R&B in there somewhere, and it'll finish them off. Even though it's unprotected, but it does a decent amount of damage, so when you're trying to burst somebody down, why not, you know? Kill. So, as far as movement goes, I think this is one of the easiest ways you can skill check people. And you notice like my skill cooldowns here. If you're unfamiliar with what the skills are, I'll just go through it real quick. I have Absolute Mass Destruction. This is probably one of my favorite skills in the kit. I have Nimbus Strike on 2. This is after you twisted a collision, so you press Q and F, and that's it. Skull Crusher, Shift F. This is mainly because I grind, and just to track my cooldown on Skull Crusher. So like I can super armor trade and do some damage. Spiral Cannon, movement skill, obviously good to have on cooldown. And have Ferocious Assault also on cooldown. You could probably argue that you don't need Ferocious Assault because I use it with Mass Destruction, so yeah, it's just nice to have, or either or, you know what I mean? But just having them both on is just this added flexibility, I guess. And that's it for my cooldowns. My hotbar, Autumn Blaze, and Crouching Wolf. And this is just a switch between the two stances. And also have Battle Cry because it's like if you hold down F, you can go through the entire combo of the Striker kit, but it's unprotected, so you want to Battle Cry after the Somersault on hotkey to stay in super armor. And yeah, so first movement skill, and I want to say this is like a drill of sorts, but up R&B, and you hold R&B. Very good skill check. Sometimes you'll be grinding. Like one time on my Mystic, I was grinding at like on Arsha because I was bored, and some dude just ran at me, and I just Mass Destruction CC'd them, and they died. And it's like, okay, I did it, my grab combo, they died. That was it for the fight. He switched channels, and I was happy. But yeah, Mass Destruction, fucking good. For Strikers, it does a, I think it stuns. Yeah, it stuns. And for Mystics, I think Mystics is like a stiffen. Big Kiwi takeaway though, like if you're a Mystic, like, and you want to PvP more seriously, like I feel like Succession Mystic is fucking amazing. But if you want to add more, like if you're hitting like the plateau of Mystic, Striker is like the next best thing. Yeah. So, I have up R&B, Mass Destruction, and I also have my Nimbus Strike on cooldown right there. So I just press Q and press F. And what's cool about that is, as far as like comparing Mystic to Striker again, Striker's Twisted Collision is pretty damn overpowered in a sense that like it'll hit people really far away. It's very forgiving range. So like if you end up behind somebody, it's a good follow-up. It's also a good engage to just twist a collision and fly into people with Nimbus Strike. It also flows. You can use it after Fatal Smash. So it'll be something like this. And it's just like extended super armor if you want to like really min-max it, but I feel like just pressing Q and F is all you really need. Following up with that, it also is a seamless swap into Awakening. And you also have a few other ways to switch to Awakening. And when you hotbar Crouching Wolf, it'll take you to pre-awakening. And you can switch with holding Shift L and B for a kind of like a far movement skill in a sense. So you're moving up. Whoops, pressing wrong skills here. So one of your engages could be like this. Like that. And you just keep rotating between the two, I guess. And then you just track your cooldowns. Like that. And you can skill check a lot of people just by going through this series of movement on Striker. A lot of times you can just do like a simple grab, they die. If not, you can do this. Like so, with the movement. And I'm just tracking the cooldowns here. And you notice that like I went through all of them pretty quick. And I had all of them on cooldown kinda. And pretty much to negate that cooldown, you can just dash around. Like so. Or do some damage skills fillers. Like so. Yeah. So again, just mixing dashes and skills in between the cooldowns here. I wonder if you caught me doing it, but I used Spirit's Echo in there. I threw Autumn Blaze in there. I threw Warcry in there. Just to show like how flexible the class is. And one of the reasons you want to go... There's a few reasons you want to go into Pre-Awakening. I think the best reason to go into Pre-Awakening is if you kind of want like a safe disengage. And this is just to like counter certain play styles of people. So like let's say they're extremely aggressive, right? You're playing something that is obviously more mobile than your class. And this kind of applies to like a lot of range classes or hell, fucking ninjas and shit. And they'll just like Leroy Jenkins into you. So sometimes you just gotta, you can play passive against those guys and win. And it's just a series of using Crouching Wolf, the backstep, with Wolf's Fang. And that's a skill right here. And what's cool about it is it's a frontal and you're moving back. Like so. And you can like rotate between these three skills to kite people. Sometimes they'll get a little too close. Again, you use the mass destruction thing. And usually people have adamantine locked. Because honestly, you don't want to use frontals too long. And just walking backwards is fine too. And mass destruction, obviously. And you just kite like that. And you also have Rage Hammer in there. So this is one of the stalls you can do. If for some strange reason you're out of stamina, but I feel like Striker doesn't really have stamina issues, which is probably why it's one of the best PvP classes out there. Like I can straight up spam my skills, spam my triple dashes, spam my movement, and like I'll still struggle to find a way to use all of my stamina. See, like And you just recover it by using like your super armors, like, you know, it's not that bad. Stamina control isn't really a thing in striker kits, but kiting is though, because you can't block. And this situation applies to people when you're fighting people that have more gear than you. But honestly, if you're not like 370, wait, if you don't have dual Fallen God armor, people are gonna two-shot you through super armor. Like, that's just kind of how the game is. But in tier 1 node wars, you'll feel more tankier. There's many ways to incorporate kiting. Wolf Sprite, Battle Cry, Crushing Wolf. I don't think Autumn Blaze has a backup. No, doesn't. You can spiral away. You just dash away. And if they follow you, turn it around on them with the movement, like so. And that's kind of like the first thing with Striker that you want to like practice. Just managing your movement cooldowns. Like so. And sometimes, as you get used to it, certain classes you'll understand that like they're not as mobile as you are, and you're like in full control here. As long as you're within gear. If not, like, you know, that's also one of the reasons why I put the bleed on my Skull Crusher. Because bleeds are stronger in tier 1s, and it also is a way to like take off bleeds or potions healing. Because potions heal, what, 250, 300 or something? And having that extra bleed is just nice, I guess, to circumvent that. But yeah, like, definitely keep track of your movement skills on Striker. All of them CC, look at that. That's a stun. That's a knockdown. Here's Q and F. Like, it CCs this entire range here. A lot of Strikers you'll see, like, in the montages, they'll just dash in, spiral. They won't QF like that, but they'll probably up R&B, and they'll reposition for the grab with mass destruction. And then you can literally run away and do the same thing again. And then just wait for a spiral to come back and cool down. Try to get the grab. Nope, didn't get the grab. Just fuck around. You know, they reposition too far. Like so. And I'm not sure if I'm going too fast or not. Because I'm kind of telling you guys like what the cooldowns are. Not sure how much slower I can get it. I feel like it's much more easier to understand once you practice it on your own. You could kind of argue that Striker could core Infernal Destruction. If you wanted to lean away from the Spiral playstyle, I guess. And then you could just jump into fights doing this. And then you're just pretty much just chilling in super armor and being team reliant. And you could literally just keep doing that. You know what I mean? But you could argue that the spiral here or just use that. Spiral, spiral, shift Q. Just Spiral Torpedo. So you can actually stay like in combat in super armor for a while if you just manage your cooldowns right. And I was doing it horrendous there, but super armor, Savage Somersault super armor, Shift Q super armor, Warcry super armor, dash around I guess. The fuck, I fell. Dash around I guess, and just do it all over again. And one of the things is that some people forget is that if you get slow debuffed on Striker, like, you're just that stronger, if that makes sense. Like, you're pretty much on a 6-second cooldown timer on everything, and being slowed makes them overlap. So, like, you could literally sit around and do the combo better. And I'm literally just looking at my cooldowns right now. Like so. Obviously, you wouldn't have Infernal Destruction on. I would probably lock it for PvP too. Like, I think that's like fucking up a lot of my shit here. Let's get my stamina back up. That's a horrendous skill. But yeah, like, that's just one of the ways you can literally just keep rotating between those 3 skills. And you just up arm B. And this is like not even including like if I ever go for a grab attempt or cry with Autumn Blaze. Like, you have so much movement in a kit. Like, you should really be in control of a lot of your fights. And the only real time that, like, they should be able to apply pressure on you is, like, if they are doing a shit ton of damage to you. But, again, you're a Striker. Striker Mystics are fucking tanky. So, Super Armor trade is more viable for you, in a sense that you have more control in what you're doing. And if they try to super armor you, you can literally just do a dash grab. Like, it's fucking insane. Or instead of being a risky dash grab, you can do the dash spiral, reposition for a grab with absolute mass destruction. And that's really it. Like, I don't know what else I can explain. I've seen some videos of people using explosive wolf fang when they CC somebody. So sometimes they'll like catch somebody with the wolf fang, and it does like a decent amount of damage. Finish off with the savage kick. I feel like Striker doesn't even need these 2 skills. Full backstep is also another skill that you'll see people use to like get their grab off. So like against newer players, just doing this and doing the grab is enough. But against some other people that are more experienced, I guess, like just throwing that like iframe in there is enough to get some people. Like so. And if you didn't notice, in my Mystic video, like I was using these scarecrows here as like an example of where your team would be. And you could just use that as like a drill to try to get back to your team. And that's just how the game is in group PvP. Ah! And as you're farther, it just makes sense to use the frontals there. But yeah, hopefully this video helped. Kind of demonstrate like how to min-max on Striker. I know some people, like when they're grinding in succession, they'll use what's that skill called? They'll use this fucking, it's one of the skills in here somewhere. It's the Rising Blast combo, and they'll do that because they'll have that 12 evasion debuff. But yeah, Lightning Striker is very chill. It's one of the reasons why I swapped over to it. And later on, I'll start learning Succession to grind. But right now, I'm just enjoying Awakening Striker because it's fucking cool, and his outfit's pretty cool too. So yeah, hopefully you see more videos from me. I have decided to make BDO my main game now, so hopefully I'll get some decent gains now. And yeah, every time I take a little break to just fuck around in the BA, I'll just record it and show you guys how to PvP on certain classes, I guess. I know a little bit about Warrior. I think like the coolest thing on Warrior lately wasn't the Awakening for me. I thought the Succession was pretty fucking cool on Warrior, and also like Nova. So maybe later down the road, I'll re-roll back to Mystic, and then I'll tag Nova or something. But right now, Striker's just kind of where it's at. And on top of that, I can just get a green weapon for my Mystic, and then I just play Succession. That's by swapping all the gear over, and I don't have to like tag or anything. And then I can tag with my Striker or something. I don't know. It's up there. But I'm really looking forward to like maybe Mystic Awakening buffs or something. The next video will probably showcase like the differences between the two, and why or why not you would do the swap. And yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for watching.